Welcome back to part 5 of 12 of episode 1. For the S2 basketball preview, we're going to be talking about the Florida Gulf Coast Eagles here. And to me, Dad, one of the scariest starting fives in the entire, conference. You got Ramir Barno, who's going to be stepping up, playing a significant role in the starting lineup after being the first man off the bench last year. Then Dalian Johnson, the guy that came from Penn State a couple years ago, finally found a starting role. He's a solid second, third option. Then you got Jevin Munitz coming from the Delaware Hornets. He ended up being all MEAC's second team. He was also on the tournament team as well for Delaware. And then Michael Duax, a guy that comes from UNI. He was on the MVC freshman team. Kind of got pushed out of the starting lineup last year because he actually did get his start, his spot in the starting lineup his freshman year because of injury, and then he got pushed back because of that. Ended up transferring out, coming here to Florida Gulf Coast. So those numbers are deceiving. I want to say that those numbers on the sheet there are deceiving. They are numbers from last year. But during his freshman season, he averaged 10 points a game, had 4.7 rebounds a night, and had almost a steal and a half per game. One thing about Duax that's a little strange, almost paradoxical, is that he's a very efficient shooter when he's shooting. Right? He shot over 50% from the field. He did end up shooting over 50% from beyond the arc last year as well, but then shot 50% from the free throw line. So that's almost, or just over 50% from the free throw line. So it's almost paradoxical there. But then you got a guy that could be the A-Sun player of the year in Keshawn Kellerman, best blocker in the league, one of the best rebounders. Those numbers, those 12 points per game, are going to go up this year compared to last year. And then you got they're one of the younger teams as well. You got some high-class freshmen coming here. Savion's from Columbia. He was in a good guy off their starting lineup in Columbia last year. But as far as the freshmen goes, you got B.B. Washington, Darren Williams. There's going to be some Tristan Gillette maybe might contribute. He didn't play in their game versus UCF, their preseason game or their exhibition game. And then Jack Reddick as well. Another guy, Cameron Codio, got a couple minutes in that game. Even Evan Barlow did as well. So once again, another younger team, but a lot of high upside from them. Don't expect much out of Blaise Vespi this year. This year, he kind of played himself out of the lineup last year, and I think that's going to stay that way. And they added Rory Stewart, a solid shooter from beyond the arc, from Rhode Island as well. He's a big question mark. And as I mentioned earlier, McLean, before I mentioned the freshman, I wanted to mention the freshman first. But McLean, he started every game for the Ivy League last year. I think he's going to contribute solid defensively. He's going to be a good defensive presence off the bench. And I think this team's a lot deeper than people think because they have so many freshmen on their team that people don't know about yet, but there's some good freshmen. So I don't know. What are your takes on them?
Yeah, I was a little concerned about their bench, to be honest with you. And their new players, the freshmen and the guys coming in. So I agree with you on the top five. I think Kelman is ceiling is really high for him. A lot of pressure on him. He's going to have to do a lot to carry this team, in my opinion. Can he do it? I think he's got the potential to, for sure. Over the long haul of the season, we'll see what happens. But that, to me, it was a little bit top heavy of a team in the big picture of things. Last year, a couple stats to kind of demonstrate a little bit of that, maybe depth there. 1-5 in games decided by 3 points. There's a reason for that happens. It's not purely coincidence. So little things can add up to that. And then their defense was fantastic last year. With that record, what they lost, again, can the freshmen coming in and the players coming in from outside make up for that loss that they had from previous year? I'm just a little skeptical. They're about in the last 2 years, 31-33 record under Coach Chambers. So I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence on this club to see where they end up.
So you and I are gonna have two very different opinions. I'll give away mine first. I got them fourth. I think this team they're good defensively. I'm really high on Kelman. I think that this team is going to be incredibly strong, obviously, with their starting five. I think the freshmen are going to contribute a lot more than people think they're going to contribute. And then Stewart and McLean, I think, are going to be solid pieces off the bench. So because as I mentioned in last episode, if you want to check that out, where we talk about Eastern Kentucky, players from conferences that have a bit more prestige come in and have more successful seasons here. Now, these two aren't going to have the opportunity to do it, I don't think, because they're going to be stuck on the bench. But I think that means that they're gonna end up contributing a lot more effectively than maybe they did in their old leagues. And I see this team being fantastic. So where do you have them, since you're on the skeptical end of things?
Where do you see them getting their scoring from? I mean, outside, inside, threes? Like, did you have a feel for kind of what
they
style
can
of play?
score from all three levels. Barno's not going to do much scoring. Barno's going to be more of a distributor, would be my guess. But Dallin Johnson's going to be available to shoot a lot. Michael Duax can do it all, except for shoot from the free throw line. Kelman's numbers there's no way they're not going to go up. He's going to be the guy this year on that team. And Jevin Munitz had 15 points a game last year in the MEAC. And he can do it all too. He can shoot from all three levels. So I think this team's going to get a lot of scoring. Now the bench scoring, probably going to come from Rory Stewart, a lot of it. McLean's going to have to lead the charge with that. Jack Reddick's going to have to play well in the backup one role. And BB and Darian can both contribute as well. So as I said, I don't think Gillette's going to work his way into the lineup right away. Codio and Barlow might play small minutes. But they're not going to be scoring guys right off the bat. It's going to be, there's a lot of ifs, but I'm banking on those ifs paying off.
Gotcha. Right. Yeah. That's where I see it. The challenge on the scoring end. Good defensive team. Yes, I think there will be enough rotation to fill in some of that stuff I was talking about. But I just think they're going to struggle offensively. Prove me wrong, Eagles fans out there and Eagles out there. I have an 8. I got the Eagles finishing 8th place in the conference.
Criminal.
Prove me wrong. Let's see what happens. I hope you do. But yeah, so that's where I have them anyway. So, but we'll wish them well, and again, we'll enjoy to see how the season plays out.
Absolutely. Good luck, FGCU fans. I'm rooting for you.
Well, I'm rooting for you too, but we'll see what happens.
In a different way.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, all right. You can check out our next episode coming up. That'll be part 7 of this 12-part opening series. Till then, have a great time. Take care.